Welcome back to Sunday Brunch Live. Joining us now is bushcraft master and TV presenter Ray Mears. Ray, you've been a survival expert for over 2 decades, and you're now about to hit the road with your own tour. What can we expect? Songs, gags?
Yeah.
Not saying my mother-in-law's phone.
I have been known to do the odd gag. But really, this is a tour of... They're tales of endurance. These are stories that, in my professional career, that I've come across, and they've astounded me. And they've stayed with me over years. I often think about these individuals and what they did under the most appalling circumstances. There are many lessons, we can learn, and we can take heart from these stories as well.
Give us an example. I know you don't want to give too much away,
yeah, well,
but is there...
There's one story. I mean, one of the things that really interests me is that today we're constantly being told that, you have to be 8 foot wide, you've got to have a knife between your teeth, and not shave for a month to be able to survive. And, that's not true. The truth is, ordinary people have done remarkable things. And there's one story of an American airman who, during the Second World War, crashed in a remote part of Australia. And he bailed out with 4 other airmen, all of whom perished, and he survived. And he had no training, he had no knowledge of that environment, no survival training at that time. And he survived for 196 days. He didn't know what to... he just chose to. He chose to survive. He didn't even have a fire. And a fire gives you the ability to make water safe, to cook food, to feel good, gives you light in the darkness. And he was living in an area where there are dangerous crocodiles, there are lots of threats, and he survived. And he survived because he chose to. And what really interests me is what's the motivation that powers those events.
So for anybody, if they ended up in that situation, do you think our instincts kick in then, and we have the ability to do it?
I think what's really interesting, obviously there's a lot of luck involved. You have to be, to some extent, lucky. But every human being has the ability to survive. It's inbuilt in us. We have to choose to, and he chose to. And what I find fascinating is the motivation for that choice can vary enormously. And for him, it was the fact that he had never had a girlfriend, and he'd never driven an automobile. And he decided, I'm not dying until I've done those 2 things. And that's what kept him alive. And, he was really lucky. It was an Aboriginal who eventually found him. Even the rescue party they sent in search of him had to give up. They lost one horse. They sent the best bushman of the age to look for this man. And we had 2 horses. One died. He got attacked by hornets. He had a hell of a time, and this guy managed to survive 196 days. Wow. That's pretty impressive.
So how did you start doing it then? Is something you've always been interested in? Were you a Boy Scout or...?
Oh, it's a long story. I'm basically... when I was a kid, I was interested in tracking foxes. I wanted to stay out overnight. I didn't have any camping equipment. And I went to a school where we had to learn judo. It was a lesson, a life lesson, not a sport. And the man who taught that, he introduced me to the subject. He'd been behind the lines in Burma during the Second World War, and I said, I haven't got any camping equipment. He said, you don't need it. You need these skills. And that's when the door opened. But what was interesting, of course, as you answer the questions that you ask about how to live in the outdoors, you pose 10 more questions. And that powers you forward. And I'm still asking questions. I'm still learning now.
You're still learning, yeah.
All the time. And I think that's the joy of this subject. It's endless. And you can take it in so many directions. You can take it in the food direction, in the plant direction, the wildlife direction. There's so many different facets to the whole subject.
Your life is sort of fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it is fun.
Yeah, boy stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great fun. It has difficult moments too, which you probably don't see, but, it can be tough. You can be dealing with bad weather, blizzards, all sorts of things. But you take that in a stride because the rewards far outweigh the difficulties.
You look really comfortable there doing all your stuff, but are you comfortable on a stage in front of people? Is it
No, I love it.
Doing it.
I really love it because it's so much better than the lens, because you're meeting real people. And there's a buzz, you get a warmth back that you never get in television. And the questions that I get asked are magical. The children particularly ask the most incredible questions. And that ability to meet the viewer is really important to me. It helps helps me understand what they like to see on television so that I can do that job better.
So are you making it interactive in any way then? So you really do get to feel what
A little bit.
want?
We're going to make it a little bit interactive, yeah. I can't say too much about that.
OK,
Yeah.
fine.
But they're also going to... There's an educational aspect to it as well, because I want also to pass on some knowledge and some skills that any youngsters, a lot of young adults today who grow up on computer games and then discover adventure, and they go off to do the wildest things, and some of them have had a few problems, and there are a few tips I can provide to make sure that they come back and come back safely and have the time of their life.
Ray, you're doing 24 dates across the country. We've got a load of your dates here. I noticed there's no Tuesday night in Stoke here.
No.
I don't think you can do Tuesday.
I don't think you can hack it. Might be able to survive in the wild, but you can't do Stoke over Tuesday.
Can't do a cold, wet Tuesday night in Stoke. No, you're doing the whole country here. Shrewsbury, Cheltenham, Leicester, Southend, Ipswich, Cardiff, Torquay. You're doing the whole lot, yeah?
Yep. I'm really looking forward to it.
OK, excellent. That's fantastic. Listen, Ray, thank you very much. Your tour starts on March the 1st in Shrewsbury, and continues until April the 4th in Gateshead.
That's a tough gig as well, isn't it?
Gateshead.
Yeah, it's a tough one, Tuesday night there. It's tough.